Recording started. Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode number 8 of the Intellectual Forum, the Happiness Club. Today's topic is about personal extraordinary characteristics and attributes. We will talk about resilience, about persistence, about determination. We will talk about the mentality of nothing is impossible. We will talk about the mentality of never to give up on your dreams, never to give up on yourself. Today, I have the pleasure to have with me Abdul Nassar, from the author of The Road Less Traveled to IronMan and IronMan Spirit. Hello, Abdul Nassar, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for that. It's absolute pleasure to be on your show.
Yes, the pleasure is mine, of course. Abdul Nassar is a finance executive, an ultra trail runner, and moreover, he is a mountaineer. And above all, he's the author of the international book, IronMan Spirit. Hello, Abdul Nassar, and I can't wait to start my questions to you. We really, it is very obvious that you are that person where the sky is the limit. Whenever you reach a challenge, you want to go for another challenge. Whenever you reach a goal, you want to set yourself a more challenging goal, and above all, you reach it and you achieve your goals. Abdul Nassar, your journey was tough. From abject poverty to education excellence and an enviable career path and inspirational achievements. Please tell us more about your journey and how did it all started for you? Sorry, there is a 1 minute lag because Abdul Nassar is in Qatar. So there is a like seconds lag in the conversation with you. Okay, let's start.
Thank you for the, you nicely briefed my whole journey of 44 years of my life. To give you some glimpses of my life, before coming to the Ironman, I'm coming from a village background. So that's about the maybe a lower or middle class family. So whenever I say a village, you can imagine the educational situation or educational systems there. So that's the start. Then I realized the importance of education to come out of this, the economical challenge. I realized that education is the only means to come out, because education will give you a job and job will give you the financial independence. So that's a point. I took education very seriously. So though at the beginning I was not that good in my marks, in 10th I scored I reached university rank. I was the college topper. Not getting to the job, but I was eagerly looking for, because that's very important to me to get a job. So I started my journey with the National Oil Company. It's the Indian Oil Corporation. It's a Fortune 500 company. Then I progressed to multinational company, Kane Energy. So I got when I look back, it was a good career progression. So during this journey, maybe 10 years ago or 9 years ago, when I was 35 years of age old, I come across the issue of overweight as anyone else. Cholesterol issues, bad cholesterol level is very high. So that triggers me. Oh, this is the right time to come back to sports. When I was in college, I was active, but during the pursuit of going for the excellence in education, I completely ignored my sports life. So again, when I joined the corporate life, again, I forget the health part. No exercise, no fitness, nothing. So 24/7, job, family, home to work, work to home. So the routine life. So the whole journey of this sports fitness started at the age of 35. So what triggered me? Of course, the fear factor. I was reading the news about cardiac arrest, some of family members, some colleagues. So that gave me the fear factor. Maybe my cholesterol level is high. This is before it's getting too late. It's better to go back to the sports life. That's the time I happened to listen to a inspirational speech from one of my friend. He's a marathon runner. Then I realized, okay, let me start doing something, really putting into action. So the next day onwards, I start going for a morning walk. So that's the journey begin.
Okay, so that's how your journey begin. It begins by fear. You were having high cholesterol, so, and I don't know what other problems, health issue maybe, and this triggered the will in you to return and motivate you to return back to sports. And you were an average kind of sports, or you played sport, but not really super sports, and not in a high frequency.
Yes, I was overweight. Maybe my weight was 85, 86 kilo. Right now I'm 71 or 70. That's the weight right now.
Great.
And not other issues. And I'm not that sports active. Maybe I occasionally play a cricket on a weekend. And the cricket, it's not that, we never run or move too much. You can stand on a place and still play the game.
Yes. Abdul Nassar, can you please tell us as audience, not all of us know what is IronMan. What is this ultra trail running and the race, and what is it all about?
Yeah, I started with a marathon running. For marathon running means a 42.2 kilometer running. That's called a marathon running. So any distance beyond marathon, we call it ultra running. So if the running, again, ultra running beyond the marathon distance on a trail, on a mountain, on a hill, then it's called ultra trail running. So ultra trail running means beyond 42 kilometers on a mountain, on a hill, not on a road. So that's ultra running all about. And then coming to Ironman. Ironman is a challenge where 3 sports are clubbed together. Along with the running, we do cycling and swimming as well. So full Ironman distance, you have to begin with the swimming, open sea swimming, that's around 3.8 kilometers distance. Then immediately you start cycling. So that's around 180 kilometers. After the cycling, you go for a marathon. That's 42.2 kilometers. So total distance of 226 kilometers, you have to complete or finish in 17 hours cut-off time. That's the challenge. So I was able to finish the challenge in less 15 hours. That's my performance.
And how was the training and the strenuous exercises you did? I mean, it took you 6 years to become an Ironman?
Yes, the whole journey, it took 5 to 6 years for the whole journey to reach that endurance fitness level. But particularly for the Ironman, I was training for 6 months, the last 6 months. So on an average, weekly, 14 to 15 hours of training hours. So if you are daily training, maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hour daily on evening, then on weekends you may go for 3 hours, 4 hours on a Friday and Saturday. So typically 14 to 15 hours per week, that was the training hours for 6 months for this Ironman alone. But the whole journey, it's not all of a sudden you go for such a long distance. So it started with walking, then 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. In 2 years, I was able to run a marathon of 42 kilometers. So it's a continuous improvement. So over 5 years, I was able to reach that endurance fitness level.
Abdul Nassar, still I want to know what kept you on this track. I mean, sometimes you are motivated and we start something new, but then in the middle we just stop, or we don't reach the end line. We don't reach our final goal. And this is a very tough goal. And it's, of course, a great achievement. I want to dig more into this mentality, into this determination. What kept you going? Because in the beginning, it is motivation. But then, did it turn out to be a habit, or the goal was so important to you and so motivating to you that you thought that I will do whatever it takes to reach that goal and to become an Ironman. And then later I knew that it is not only Ironman, that whenever you have a challenge, you increase the challenge, you go for another one. And here I think you find the state of flow, your personal state of flow, where you continuously want to excel and you challenge yourself to do better and better and better. How is this? How do you do that? How do you do what you do?
Huda, yeah, if I look back, and there is a difference in perspective, because from the outside world, they see that the results. Okay, oh, you did Ironman. Oh, you did Everest. But for me, I didn't target for Ironman at the beginning, or I didn't target Everest at the beginning. For me, it's the journey. So initially, as you rightly mentioned, we get the inspiration, okay? So I listened to the speech of the marathon runner that inspired me. So, or we read books, we get inspiration, or we watch this YouTube videos. So we get inspiration, and that motivates some people to take action. Some go procrastination and they will not be taking any action. They continue to watch more videos, read more books without taking action. In my case, okay, I took the immediate action. Immediate action was, okay, start the fitness journey. I started doing the walk, run, maybe for half an hour. It's just normal. Then I keep pushing myself for a continuous improvement. So always, if I take my example, I always go for a personal best. So not for the result. Go for always keep a goal, achieve that goal, and set the next goal. Do that. That makes me keep going. That's my motivation. For example, initially I was keeping for 10 kilometer or 15 kilometer half marathon. Once I start running the marathon, my next goal will be, okay, I want to run the next marathon, improving my previous time. If I could able to run a marathon in, for example, 5 hours, the next marathon I want to run, reducing the time, maybe 10 minutes less than my previous time. That's where I improve. So I register for a race. Maybe that race may be 3 months ahead of me or 6 months ahead of me. Then start training for that race. So I'm sure that by the end of that 6 months or 3 months, I'll reach that level. I follow the process. So I have that confidence that I'll be able to achieve that. That's the way I push myself. So again, the motivation is keep changing from beginning to end or middle. So I started my fitness journey, okay, the cholesterol, the health issues. Now it's totally different. I'm not afraid of the cholesterol, or I'm not afraid of this cardiac arrest. So my motivation or to keep me continuing is, okay, I feel good. I feel really happy. The hormone levels, the cortisol level is very low, so I feel less stressed.
Yes,
so
let me
my motivation keep changing.
Let me interrupt you here and ask you a question. You know, Abdul, that happiness is measured through well-being and life satisfaction. So you exactly said the same. You felt happier, you felt healthier. So I want to know if you, your score for happiness, how much you give yourself over 10 in your happiness meter after you went into this journey.
Yeah, it's a whole evolving, or it's a life journey. So when I look back my whole journey, now the quality of the life, how I feel happy, contented, less stressed. So this is all about self-awareness on this journey. So happiness, is a state of mind. We are human. It maybe one day or one fraction of second, we may be happy, unhappy. So many emotions we have. There is nothing wrong that having other emotions, but it's all depends how we process each event, how we see the perspective of life, and so many factors. So the fitness, of course, it helps to be happy, because when you have a healthy body, you can have a healthy mind only in a healthy body. When you are having pain in one leg or one hand, you can't have a peace of mind. That's very true. You can't have a yoga or meditation when you are paining, when you are suffering, or when your basic needs are not satisfied. You can't talk about happiness, or you can't talk about all these things. Your basic needs has to be satisfied first. So yeah, it's evolving.
Yes, yes, and this lead me to another question. I want to know from you, what advice do you have for the busy lifestyle we all have, for the executive professional, for those who work like more than 10 hours, 12 hours per day, and they have many excuses. They have the mentality of excuses. I'm tired, I'm stressed, I have work to do, my age is already, I'm not young to start any kind of sports now. So what advice do you have for us?
So that, do we need advices? I think we all have sufficient information these days. How to, what to eat, what not to eat, how many hours we need to sleep, and how many, what exercise we need to do, the body movement, different types of games, sports. When there is a lockdown in the inside home, what we can do. So we have plenty of information. I think the issue is, one is the procrastination. We don't take action immediately. So in my case, I started with a single step at a time. For example, in the eating habit side, I try to avoid or reduce the sugar in my the food. Maybe tea or coffee without sugar. I took one action, and then I made it a habit. I completely stopped it. So then, once I'm happy with that, when I accepted that my body or it's become a habit, then add the next one to my routine or lifestyle. And then the same way the exercise. So many options. You just start with one, make it a part of your lifestyle or routine, then add the next one. And very, for the working executives, the time management is very critical, because some people work more than 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. So it's really an issue. But if you see really to the time management aspect, everyone, whoever in this world, successful leaders, whoever, everyone go 24 hours per day, same hours, same time. No one got extra hours, but they manage. So how they manage it, or how, what I see the time, the 24 hours, just divide by 3, it's 8 hours. 3, 8 is equal to 24. So if you work for 8 hours, another 8 hours for sleep, still you have 8 hours left out. That's more than enough for friends, family, for your passion, for exercise, whatever you want to do. That 8 hours is more than enough. But again, it's about what you value most, because how your time is just going. So you need to cut short of those activities what you currently do, and manage your priorities. Basically, once you list your current schedule, current habits, you will see that there are so many activities which you are currently, your time is taken. You can remove it. So find out the priorities, and go for it. The 24 hours is more than enough if you really value your time and set the priorities, and plan properly.
Okay, I agree with you, although it is not very easy for some people. Some people, it is easier for them than others. Maybe, as you said, due to their values in life, what are the priorities in their lives. So it is not always that easy to have an Ironman spirit and to take the challenge till the end. So maybe this leads me to the other or the next question. I want to know and to ask you, how do you personally become unstoppable? How do you raise always the level of your energy? How do you become a better person of yourself, a more disciplined, more focused maybe? Along with time management, I feel you are also very focused on what you are doing. So how do you do this equation?
I don't know whether I'm unstoppable. You are so kind to give such a comment. For
no,
me, life is all about, you cannot isolate one part alone. It's all whether it is a work, whether it is your relationship, whether it is your health, whether it is your finance, whether it's the spirituality. So it's all a combination of all this is the life. So you need to have goals, or you need to set goals to continuously improve. So that's the way I see that. I work, whenever I'm working, I give my 100% to that. Then after that, when I go for the sport, I give my 100% for my health. It's very important. So the relationship, whether it is the religion or the spirituality. So it's goal setting. So where you are now, just one step at a time. Start practicing it more. More you practice, that become part of you. Then it's part of your character. That's the way I build on me.
Great. Abdul, I want to know from you, what is your reward system for doing all that hard work? How do you reward yourself?
How do you reward? Each one I get different rewards. So for example, from the sports, I feel good. I feel good. I feel young, energetic. I can still wear a t-shirt and tight jeans and feel good. And when I go, I wrote these 2 books I wrote. So I see the feedback I'm receiving, because this, I feel it's my responsibility or my duty to pass on the experience I have, the lessons I learned during the course of my journey. So I feel really happy that if someone, after reading it, giving a feedback, or someone listening after my story, saying that, oh, I got inspired to take some action. I felt my dream was unachievable. Now I feel confident. So this is the motivation to me. I feel good. So that's the way I reward myself. So I feel my purpose has a purpose. It's useful to others. I enjoy it. I feel good about that.
Yes, it is true. It is very inspirational story, especially that you begin at an age, you became an Ironman at the age of 42, I think. So it is very inspiration to everybody to never give up on himself, never give up on his dreams. At any age, we can do whatever we want, the passion we are seeking. So my next question will be a little bit of a technical question. Regarding the race itself. In your book, IronMan, in the last chapter, I think you wrote a very tight and disciplined schedule about how to prepare to enter such ultra races, and especially the Ironman race. Can you tell us in brief about this schedule, about the discipline we need to have before entering such races?
Yeah, when we look, for example, when you look at the Mount Everest from the bottom, you say it's impossible to achieve. The same thing, the Ironman, if you listen to the distance, 226 kilometers in 17 hours cutoff time, impossible to achieve. That's the feeling we receive. But all the process, I trust the process. So this health or the fitness, all supported by the science. So if you train, if you follow the path, that training path, the process, definitely you will reach your goal. You will reach that endurance level. So for that, the discipline is required. For example, if there is a daily target, today you have to do 2 hours this training, this intensity, or this distance, and then the next day it's following. So if you miss 1 or 2 days, then it's not going to happen. So if you able to achieve the daily targets, so after 6 months you will be reaching your goal. So discipline is required. The time management, you have many priorities in your life. You have work, family, other social commitments. You are part of many organizations. So you need a discipline. For example, if you couldn't sleep on a Thursday night, and the Friday morning, early morning, you need to start your training for 4 hours, 5 hours, it's impossible. You need to have discipline. You need to go to bed early on Thursday evening. So it's all, there is an implication. So that's the discipline I'm talking about.
You defined that CrossFit is crucial and so important before one can start the Ironman. Can you please elaborate more on this?
Yeah, cross fitness is always helpful to avoid injuries. For example, if you are a runner, if you run a lot and the long distances continuously, you use a particular set of muscles. So for a runner, the cross fitness maybe occasionally go for a cycling or go for a yoga or a different sports or activity. So that will engage different muscles. That's the cross fitness, what I mean. So yeah, you see that if the football player occasionally go and play some other different game on a, so that helps them. So this is called cross fitness.
Yes. Okay. And so I would like to know from you, what are the mental preparations that you usually have before starting a marathon?
The mental preparation is very important, especially for any race or for any dreams or any activity. This is one of an important tool, the imagination. So visualization, this is the tool mostly ways I use that. For example, the Everest, I used to visualize myself standing on top of Everest with the flag of my country. So that's a visualization I used to imagine. And for the races, the Ironman, I used to visualize, okay, starting from starting point, swimming, then swimming to cycling, cycling to running, then I'm finishing the race. So I was able to visualize the whole race. So this imagination or visualization is an important tool. I always use it and very helpful. In addition, the spirituality, a little bit of prayer or yoga, all this helps to have manage the stress, to be more calm, to be peaceful. So very helpful, all these techniques.
Abdul, from the author of The Road Less Traveled, you then wrote IronMan. Can you tell me your journey of authoring? And here I would like to, for those of you who doesn't know, I started my authoring journey with Abdul. Our books were released in 2019, but we prepared for it since 2018. I think it took me 5 months to complete the work, but the preparation took me 2 years before writing the book. Abdul, his first book, The Road Less Travel, I think you released it before me. I released my book in last December. It was almost 2019, but you released your book earlier than that, in maybe mid 2019, as far as I remember. So how was that journey of starting to write your first book and then the transition to go and write your second book?
Yes, Shraddha, absolutely. As you mentioned, my first book, there's a story behind that. I was working and I'm working in right now, even now in Qatar, and I used to go to India on my vacation, the summer vacation. So whenever I go there, I visit the schools there in the villages, and I share my story to inspire the children, saying that, oh, you have the infrastructure is not good, you have challenging situation, you have a family, the financial issues, but don't worry much. Just look at me. I was one among you. Just concentrate on your studies, and you can come out of the situation. So focus more on the studies. All the challenges you have, take it as challenges and convert it to opportunity. There will be ways. If it is a financial issues, there will be NGOs to get financed or support you. And whatever the challenges, there will be solutions. So just take it as opportunities and more focus on the education. So when I used to share my story of going through these challenging situations, my friends or the school teachers, they used to advise me, you come here on a vacation and visit the schools, why can't you write all the stories on a book so that you can reach out to more students? So that was the background for writing the first book, The Road Less Travel. It's all my autobiography, the childhood challenges I faced and how I come out of those challenges. That's the inspiration to the students. So the target audience, I was looking for these students, age category, maybe 15 to 21, 22. That's the age group I have targeted. And the second book is my sports journey. So again, I'm targeting this executives, the working class or the business class. So they have tight schedules. They work whole day. They don't have time for exercise. So the health issues. So it's sharing my story. See, I was one among you. I had the cholesterol issue, overweight, all the same issues. I'm also having a challenging job or demanding job, but still I managed to maintain my health, fitness. So that's my story of fitness as a motivation, inspiration to the working group. So these are as of now. And my third book on Everest is going to come in a couple of months' time.
So now today we are lucky to know from the author of The Road Less Travel and the author of the IronMan that there will be a third book about climbing Mountain Everest, as he did last May, I think 2019. He put himself another target. As we said, the sky is the limit for Abdul. He put himself a third target, which is to climb the Everest, and he did it. He did it last May 2019, and congratulations for that. So we are waiting for the book, for the third book, where you will give us your experience and expertise in climbing the highest mountain, Everest, last year in the month of May. So this is a prime news for me. I'm lucky to announce today that you have the third book is coming to the world soon. So now I profit from this occasion to ask you, what are the lessons learned from sports in general, from super sports in specific, and from being fit and being healthy and full of energy?
The lessons from sports, anything is possible. That's the first lesson I learned from all this experience. It's not a rocket science. Someone else has done the Ironman, or someone already climbed the Everest. So you are just following the process. So if you trust the process, if you follow the process, you will reach your goal. That's the lesson I learned, the main lesson I learned from this experience. And apart from that, this boosts the confidence. We get the confidence from our past experience. So if you yourself be successful in setting a target, achieving that target, your confidence level goes up. That's another lesson I learned from my journey. And the sports or the nature or the climbing Everest, this can connect with the life journey or the leadership journey. A lot of connection with this sports and life. The risk taking, the planning, we plan a lot in life, but God, now the COVID-19, but something else will come. In business, we do a lot of strategic planning, risk planning, and future. We make a lot of planning and strategic forecast and seeing the future for many assumptions. But in reality, the actual may be totally different. The scenario unpredictable. Life is also the same, unpredictable. A lot of things happen in life as well. So in Mount Everest also, you plan a lot, the climate may be totally different. So you need to take decisions or choices on the moment, or every stage you need to take decisions, whether you can proceed further or you need to leave, or what is best for you. So it's all choices depending upon the circumstances. So all this journey, a lot of connection, a lot of correlation with the real life, whether it is business, leadership. So a lot of lessons.
Yes. So it is obviously that you keep on moving forward in your life. Abdul, you are a strong believer in in preventing is better than curing, and you like to go to the root cause. So you don't go, if I might say, you don't want to go to a doctor, but you want to solve the root cause all by yourself. How was it, that journey from a high cholesterol, and how did it get down, and what did you do, and what do you think was the root cause for this?
Very specific. My God's grace. A couple of years, I'm not visiting a doctor unless or except for the routine health checkup. Otherwise, the cholesterol level is under control now because of my sports or the lifestyle change that helped to bring it to the standards or within the parameters of the limits prescribed. So the sports very helpful for that. So always this, rather than reaction, go for prevention. Yeah? Always take some preventive measures. That's very helpful because we all are aware that there are side effects of medicine. So once you got those life diseases, a chronic illness, then you have to depend on these medicines, and which has really bad effect on you. So it's always better to go for preventive change in your lifestyle, the food, the sleeping pattern, the exercise. So these are the requirements of your body. So treat your body very well. That's the fundamental thing.
Yes, great. I want to ask you again, what is a fulfilled life for you? What is a successful life for you? And what is happiness? How do you define happiness? Again, I will ask you, how do you define happiness?
Define happiness, I can see measure. If every day I'm able to sleep calmly, quietly, peacefully, so I think my life is fulfilled. So happiness, yeah, it's an emotion. So nothing wrong in having other emotions, but how you see the life. So for my mantra is take action wherever possible. If something is beyond your control, okay, accept it, move on, because there are many things in life which is unpredictable and which you cannot control. So leave to, maybe if you're a believer of spirituality or the God, leave to God or someone else or something else. But wherever possible, you need to take action and take responsibility and ownership. Take action. If something is not possible, accept it and be happy in life. So happiness is contentment. It's a peacefulness. Yeah. Every day, if you are able to sleep well, I think your life is a fulfilled one.
Yes, of course. I also would like to know, since you are in this, if I might call them super sports, what does competition means to you? You know, some sports or any person, they can take a competitor, they name it, and they choose a competitor to have a certain competitor. So they look at him as an aspiration. So when they beat him, then they go for another competitor to increase their challenge and to be a better version, if I might say, better version of themselves, and to beat the numbers or the scores they already did. So for you, what is competition and who are your competitors? What does competition means to you, even in general, in your work, in life in general?
So for me, it's just a personal best. The competitor is myself. What was my previous performance? I want to improve that. For me, always is a continuous improvement. I never compare with any other athlete or his performance. So for example, I did participate in Oman marathon. So my target for that marathon was to complete the race in 3 hours 30 minutes to finish the marathon, because that was my personal best. The previous time was 3 hours 15 minutes or something. So I was able to get a personal best. I finished not 3 hours 30 minutes, but still 3 hours 40 minutes or something. But it was a personal best time for me. Better performance than my previous performance. So I went to a room and I was sleeping in my hotel room and taking rest. Then I came to know that I was the #1 in my age category. So I went back to the organizers team and I collected my medal or the trophy. I was #1 in my each age category. So I didn't even bother to look at the results. So I was happy. Okay, I got personal best time. My target is achieved. So my competitor is always me, myself. So I will always try to improve my performance with my previous performance. That's the way I progress.
So that's your benchmark, your previous performance, your last scores, and you try to beat yourself. Never did
Yes.
you have a competitor, you only look at yourself, never did, all along the journey, never did you have a competitor, someone who aspires, someone you look at? Never?
Exactly, never, no. Because all my goals have a purpose of drawn from internally. I have a purpose to achieve those things. It's all not external, whether it is in the school's marks or whether it's a job or whatever. It's all internally. It's coming from stimulating. It's coming from internal. It's not external factors.
Yes. And I want to know, as a small glimpse, how does your journey or your life since you were young affected the person who you are today? I mean, all of us have experiences that shape the character we are today. What are the circumstances that impacted the person you are today?
There's so many incidences. Earlier days, I used to ask, why me? Why me? Why this is happening to me? So now I reached a state of mind that, oh, what is next? Throw it to me. Okay, I'm ready to take it. I'll try to find something positive in that. I'll try to find the silver line in that. So many incidences. If I look back at the age of 14, I was put into an orphanage, and then I decided, no, I have to come out of this situation. So I took the ownership or responsibility rather than praying or expecting something miracle will happen to me. So I decided, no, I have to take ownership of my life. Then I wrote even a threatening letter to my mom saying that, take me out from here, otherwise you will not see me here. That was emotional, but the purpose was I have to take action or take charge of my life. Then I focused on the education. So each level, even this sports journey, I had the cholesterol, overweight, I took charge. Okay, this is a challenge to me, so take action. So I continued my sports journey, I changed my lifestyle. So for all the changes, there is something happened to me. So that helped me to convert that challenge into an opportunity.
Yes, Abdul, I'm so happy to have you with me today. Your journey is really very inspirational, and I will be waiting for your third book, and we'll have you on my show again. And I would like to end the episode by saying, how does it feel to be healthy? How does it feel to conquer all your goals? How does it feel to be fit? And how does it feel to get to the root causes of any health issue you have? Thank you very much, Abdul. It was a real pleasure having you today, and best of luck in your future work, your future races, and the next challenge you will be having. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hoda. It's an absolute pleasure. And for you as well, continue to do the good job spreading happiness all over the world, touching lives. This is exactly the world requires now, especially in this situation. People are losing their jobs, people are losing businesses, losing lives, their loved ones. So a lot of stress, a lot of difficulties going around. So continue to do the good work and stay blessed, stay safe. All the best to you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.